Hello, my friends, and welcome to our spoiler-friendly review of the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac's final book, Warrior Fae. Now, I am very excited, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. On Fable, I rated this as a 4.75. The only reason I rated it as a 4.75, and it's for the same reason that I rated on Goodreads a 4, is simply because at no point in this did it make me, cry, scream, yell out in anger, the way in which like the Zodiacs did. However, I did rate it fairly high because I found this to be a fantastic book. It is an HEA. It does have some amazing spicy scenes in it, which is why I rated it at a 3.75 in the chili pepper sense. Getting into that, we have our main character, Elise, and she is, at this point in the series, she is fated mates with Leon, our Nemean lion. And throughout the course of this book, she does indeed become fated to the others also. So it's pretty amazing. She ends up being the only one in the entire country, or for that matter in history, that has multiple fated mates. So she's got this bond called an Elysian mate, and she has 4 of them, which is unheard of. Now, on top of that, we also have this whole situation with her brother. Her brother is in this gang of his own. They're called the Black Cards. And in this, they are kidnapping students and basically forcing them to commit suicide and give away their power. And her brother Gareth, he finds out about this and he goes, absolutely not, we're not doing this. At which point he disappears. And we've gotten this far. We understand that at this point Elise is like, nope, that's not going to happen. He would never just disappear. He would never, and he doesn't just disappear. He is ruled dead. They find a body and they give it back to her, but she is convinced during this that that's not the case. Now, I do want to say that we start off the book her having been kidnapped while trying to figure out this whole black card situation. And of course, the boys are absolutely up in arms and they are going to take down everybody and everything in their path to get to her. And they do. And when they do that, they also figure out who the leader of the black card is. Now, that does take a little bit. I think we were probably about a third of the way through before we found out, at least before I figured it out. I don't think they actually say it until close to like the 50 or 60% mark, but they find out that it is one of the teachers, and that's how they've been getting around everything. They figured out how to recruit these students by playing against their emotions. So it becomes, this really difficult thing to take them down. Now, on top of that, while doing that, she also finds her father. And in finding her father, she finds out that not only is she not alone in the world, but now she finds out that she has other family. And those family happen to be some of the most powerful and influential families in the entirety of this country. So it's crazy that she has gone through her life dealing with all of these difficult things and all these heartaches and all, her growing up in poverty. It all comes down to her father being essentially kidnapped also. And he was kept alive simply because he was also a vampire. So we go into that. Now, the book does do this thing. This last little section, you see how dark it got there? We do have a lot of POV changes at the end. And on top of that, we do have a lot of time changes. So it's bouncing around a lot at the end. We're going 2 months in the future, 5 months in the future, 6 months in the future. And that's interesting. But I was trying to figure out the timeline as to how it configured with Zodiac, simply because I have already read them and trying to piece it all together. You learn more about Lionel in this book. But it doesn't go into what happened to Lionel, which at the end of this book, we're fast forwarding 16 years. And by fast forwarding 16 years, the Zodiac Academy would have already been completed. So I'm kind of concerned as to how that's working. The other biggest problem that I had is that in the very last chapter, it kind of just ends really abruptly. Now, there was everything kind of got pieced together. The only thing that's still missing out of this is what happens with Rosalie and Rory. But from what I've read in the author's note at the end of this, that is Darkmoor, and I will be getting to Darkmoor probably in a few months. I don't want to dig right back into the series right away because there is some emotional damage. There is some healing that needs to happen. Not quite to the extent of Zodiac, because Zodiac, that sent me into a slump, man. But hopefully that fills all that in. But it does indeed fill in all of our what happened to Gareth, what happened to Gabriel's family. I mean, you hear most of what happened there. You learn more about their future together. And you get to see that Elise does end up having children and has a happy life and all that, blah, blah, blah. So we do have a wonderful HEA here. Overall, I'd say that it probably is maybe in the top like 25 books that I've ever read. It's not a literary masterpiece, but it's so entertaining and it's so much fun, and it does really make you think about all these different emotions, you know, especially since it is a dark academia. It goes through and it does have that bully sense to it. It has that, you know, back and forth banter that, I mean, I've come to know and love from the Twisted Sisters. So anyways, if you have not read this series, I highly recommend it. Definitely start with our Dark Fae and go from there. And if you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns for me, go ahead and put those down in the comments below. Make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing my channel so that I can tell you all about all the things that I think about these books in the future. And next, we're going to get started on some more mellow books and give ourselves a little bit of a break. Probably about a week or so worth of a break. But before we jump right back into spicy and dark and all those moody things that we love. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you again for watching.